Hi, folks. Welcome to week 5, where we'll be talking about zine librarianship. Um, so I'm excited about that. So here's my land acknowledgement. I acknowledge the original inhabitants and unceded traditional village sites of the land my home is occupying and built upon, the Namkeg tribe of the Massachusetts Pawtucket Nation. I take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land, past, present, and future. So Zine librarianship, it's not really a thing, but it is. Um, I have been very fortunate in my career at my institution that I previously worked at, which was Simmons University in Boston, and then now Salem State, where I have not only got to work with zines, but I sort of like self-appointed myself zine librarian, which was not actually an official title. And I feel like a lot of people that work with zines in their professional roles are kind of self-appointed. I'm so thankful that at my job now at Salem State, that has actually become part of my title, which is really exciting. It does not come with any more pay, but what it does is that it allows me to take some steps back from some of the other instruction that I might have originally been doing because I have so many classes working with zines. It's a wonderful problem to have, so I'm not complaining. Um, what started out way back in 2019 with 3 classes, now I work with, on average, about 10 classes a semester. And each of those 10 classes usually have me embedded, so that each of those 10 classes have me come in on average 2 times, although most of them have me come in 3, and some of them I come in 4, just so that I can see the students present their zines at the end of the semester. And this is all on top of all of my normal instruction duties and research consultations. So it's a lot. Um, I'm tired most of the time, but I love working with students. I love working with zines and students and faculty. So I'm in a really great position where my colleagues are super jazzed about zines, super jazzed to like learn about them. And so we've kind of got a little zine program running right now where I thankfully am not the only one that's going into the classrooms to talk about zines. And that's been amazing. Um, and it's been great to kind of see how other folks approach zines and how they approach instruction around zines. I think that that's just like one of the magical, beautiful things about zines is that there isn't this like hard and fast sort of rule around how you can teach with zines. So it's been very liberating and it's given folks a lot of agency, which has been just really great to see. Um, yeah, just the changing in culture, I guess, in my department of folks that are getting to do some like super creative things that they didn't think um, they necessarily were A, good at, or B, would have an opportunity to do. So that's been really cool to watch. So we have a loose group of creative folks who are part of what we call the Zine Librarians group. And this is open to anyone. So you don't have to work with zines in a professional capacity. You can just be super interested in zines, and maybe you're doing workshops for your, with folks that you're friends with or whatever. If you click on the graphic here, it'll take you to the website. Um, there are certainly folks that are part of this group that are academic librarians, public librarians, school librarians. There are also folks that run their own sort of like zine archive projects. So like QZAP, which is the Queer Zine Archive Project run by Milo Miller, who is a friend of mine, and they are amazing. They are doing a very grassroots archive And so they've been a part of the Zine Librarians group, I think, since its inception. Um, and on the website, you'll see there's a lot of conversation around best practices. So how to get a zine conversation going. How do you go about developing a collection development policy? How do you approach administration and wanting to give a proposal on starting a zine collection or bringing zines um, into, whatever the space is that you work at. How to teach with zines, how to lead workshops. So they're how to catalog zines, which again, we will not be talking about in this class because that would be a whole other class in and of itself. And most of the zine cataloging, I'll tell you right now, is very do-it-yourself, very much fly by the seat of your pants. There are not a lot of beautiful synergies between zines and the Library of Congress subject headings or the Dewey Decimal. So there's always this kind of clash that inherently happens. So there are a lot of creative workarounds. And you'll be reading this next week. There's a Zine Librarian's Code of Ethics, which is a zine, of course it is, that we kind of all sort of, subscribe to, so that we're doing the best. We're doing the best we possibly can in not only cataloging zines, but how we acquire zines, and then how we sort of display zines. So there's a whole bunch of information on this website. Every year, there's something called the Zine Librarians Unconference, known as ZULUC. And every year, folks put in a bid to have it hosted in their own town. So way back in 2016, I hosted it in Boston at Simmons University. This year, it's at the University of New York City. Last year, it was in San Francisco. So usually what happens is folks will team up together. So like public libraries and academic libraries in a particular town, and it'll put in a bid. And then folks converge onto this, into this space. And it's kind of like, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to do? It's very loose. There's always zine readings that happen. There are always like anarchist bookstores or queer bookstores or something like that that we take a tour of. And then there's usually an archive or something like that that we get to go and see historical zines or whatever folks got going on in their town. So I encourage you all. I mean, the ZULUC is happening at the end of this month, so probably folks, you're not going to make it this time. But think about it for next year, and maybe I'll see you there. Who knows? And then this is the information if you want to learn more about ZULUC, if you want to see where it's been hosted before, if you want to see kind of what folks did. A lot of the times we post the notes from the sessions so that folks that didn't get to attend can read through the notes and just kind of figure out like what was going on and any kind of handouts or whatever that people want to print and use. Is that like it? That would be crazy. Maybe this is the end of my slide. Only 5 slides. Folks, you get me on a day where I don't even know what's going on, which, is okay because that's life. So you've got some really great readings this week. That's going to start a conversation around, what does it mean to be a zine librarian? What does it mean to take on this added task? What does it mean to hold and protect all of the stories and narratives and experiences that either your patrons or students are going to entrust to you and your institution. Um, and purchasing zines from other folks outside of your community, whether that be at Zine Fests or Etsy or a distro that you have found that you want to purchase zines from, a bookstore like Quimby's, which is in Chicago. Um, and just kind of thinking about that. And I encourage folks because, whatever, right now we're dreaming and scheming, which is like some of my favorite states of mind to be in, that dreaming and scheming. You can think about how much would you like your role to be involved with zines. Um, I used to think that I would love nothing more than to just do zines all the time. And while I certainly, do love waking up in the morning and coming and working with zines and students, I still do very much like doing, the instruction sessions that have nothing to do with zines. Because I do feel passionately about information literacy and evaluating resources. Um, so kind of thinking about how you might balance that. Um, and also, just just to be, just to keep pushing. Um, we might not always get that zine collection in our library tomorrow, but it can start so small. Like I said, setting up a table in your library, putting out some zine making supplies and sitting down. People are going to come up and they're going to ask you what you're doing, and they're going to sit down and they're going to make zines with you. And it can be as simple as that, just to get the conversation going. So I'm excited to see what y'all are working on. I've been so impressed by the zines that you're creating. Honestly, so impressed. And I really hope that you will get to use those zines in a professional capacity, whether now or in the future. Um, and so, yeah, I guess I'll see you in the discussions. Um, and I look forward to seeing what you all do this week. All right, folks, take care. See you next week.